The great sage Bharadwaja, during his customary ablution, visited the sacred Ganga river. After his ritual bath, he beheld the celestial nymph Bruthachi immersed in her own ablutions. Despite his ever-pure mind, dedicated to divine contemplation, Bharadwaja's thoughts were unexpectedly agitated, leading to an unintentional emission. Astonished by this sudden occurrence, the sage wondered at the anomaly, feeling bewildered about the immediate course of action. Recognizing that such a deviation in his steadfast mind must have been prompted by a significant divine purpose, Bharadwaja meticulously collected the semen and placed it in a clay pot. Utilizing his profound spiritual knowledge, he infused the vessel with rare, potent elixirs, thereby creating an artificial womb within the pot. A few days later, a child emerged from the artificial womb. Owing to his birth from the pot, the child was named Drona. Bestowing profound knowledge of the Vedas and other sacred texts upon him, Bharadwaja commenced Drona's education, imparting deep and esoteric wisdom from the ancient scriptures. Ugrayudha, wielding his vast army, began his conquest, subjugating neighboring kingdoms. He vanquished 18 realms, all renowned for their peaceful and noble dispositions. The formidable Ugrayudha encroachment upon a neighboring realm reached the ears of Panchala's king Dhandasena. Realizing the imminent threat, Dhandasena devised a cunning stratagem. He spread rumors among merchants and common folk, suggesting that Ugrayudha only targeted realms incapable of retaliation and lacked the audacity to challenge powerful kingdoms like Hastinapura or Magadha. Dhandasena surmised that to dispel the notion of cowardice, Ugrayudha would redirect his conquest towards the formidable realms of Hastinapura or Magadha. But Ugrayudha, discerning Dhandasena's ruse, launched a preemptive strike on Panchala, slaying Dhandasena in front of his wife and children. Witnessing his father's death, Dhandasena's son, Vrashada, fled into the forest in terror. Recognizing Vrashada as the heir to the throne, Ugrayudha dispatched soldiers to capture and publicly execute him to solidify his claim over Panchala. Vrashada, determined to remain incognito, sought refuge in an ashram, adopting the guise of a sage and immersing himself in austere penance. Vrashada, who had fled to the forest, grew up as a sage among other sages in various ashrams. To evade the persistent search by Ugrayudha's soldiers, he continually moved from one ashram to another. During this journey, he often visited his friend Bharadwaja's ashram. Despite knowing that assisting Vrashada could lead to his own death at the hands of Ugrayudha's soldiers, Bharadwaja, moved by their childhood friendship, provided refuge to Vrashada. Vrashada was filled with astonishment and wonder upon witnessing Bharadwaja create an artificial womb and bring Drona to life. One day, Vrashada saw the celestial beauty Menaka plucking spring blossoms, and in a moment of unintentional arousal, his semen was spilled. Embarrassed, he tried to hide it by stepping on it.
Remembering how Bharadwaja had created life from an artificial womb, Vrashata carefully collected his semen and brought it to Bharadwaja's ashram. Bharadwaja, employing his earlier method, created an artificial womb in a pot. A few days later, a male child emerged from the pot. Vrashata had named his son as Drupada, fearing that Ugrayuda's soldiers might eventually find and kill both him and his son. Vrashata earnestly requested Bharadwaja to keep Drupada with him and provide him with education alongside Drona. Understanding Vrashata's helpless situation, Bharadwaja agreed to shelter and educate Drupada. Under Bharadwaja's guidance, Drona and Drupada grew up together and became very close friends. One day, a royal guard came to Bharadwaja seeking medicine for his ailment. During their conversation, the guard mentioned that King Ugrayudha was planning to attack either Hastinapura or Magadha to dispel the rumor that he could only conquer weak kingdoms. Hearing this, Drupada, filled with immense gratitude towards Drona and Bharadwaja, expressed his appreciation to Drona. He explained that when his father Vrashata was in difficult times, Bharadwaja had helped him despite the risk to his own life, and even agreed to raise and educate him. Drupada, although not a king yet, promised Drona that one day he would repay this debt. He said that if Ugrayudha loses the war, kingdom would rightfully return to his father Vrashata, making him the future king. He assured Drona that whatever royal luxuries and privileges he would enjoy, he will share them equally with Drona. Drupada's magnanimous and noble nature filled Drona with joy. This promise, made out of deep gratitude, strengthened their bond, marking a significant moment in their enduring friendship. The rumor initiated by Dhandasena spread extensively, becoming a topic of widespread discussion in the kingdom. To disprove this rumor, Ugrayudha resolved to attack a powerful kingdom next. Among the neighboring kingdoms, Hastinapura and Magadha stood as formidable entities. Magadha was ruled by Brihadratha, while Hastinapura's king Shantanu had recently passed away. Perceiving an opportunity, Ugrayudha decided to attack the kingdom without a king, believing he could easily achieve victory and gain renown for defeating a powerful realm. Stationing his army at the borders of Hastinapura, he sent a message demanding the kingdom's surrender. Bhishma, in a period of mourning for his father, was advised by his gurus not to wield his weapons during this time. Consequently, Bhishma dispatched envoys with peace proposals. Interpreting the peace message from a mighty kingdom like Hastinapura as a sign of weak governance due to the lack of a king, Ugrayudha dismissed the peace proposal. Bhishma, altering the terms, sent another peace message, which Ugrayudha rejected once more. Even to a colossal army like that of Ugrayudha, a direct assault to breach the fortified gates of Hastinapura was not a facile endeavor. Bhishma, biding time until the conclusion of his mourning period, continued dispatching peace envoys. Growing exasperated, Ugrayudha ultimately removed the tongue of the Hastinapura envoy and sent him back alive to Hastinapura as a grim warning. By violating the regal decree that no harm should befall a messenger, Ugrayudha committed an act of adharma. This incident incited an intense ire within Bhishma, yet he awaited the conclusion of his mourning period. With no response emanating from Hastinapura, Ugrayudha commenced preparations for a siege. Meanwhile, the priests declared the end of Bhishma's mourning period. Bhishma, seizing his bow, ventured to the battlefield and unleashed his divine weapons, decimating thousands of Ugrayudha's soldiers in a relentless onslaught. Ugrayudha was astounded by Bhishma's supernatural prowess. witnessing his vast army incinerated to ashes within moments. Transfixed by the formidable display, he momentarily forgot he was observing a dreadful rebirth. Realizing Bhishma's approach in the next instant, Ugrayudha was slain by Bhishma. Bhishma summoned his ministers, instructing them to compile a list of the kingdoms brought under Ugrayudha's dominion, identify their rightful heirs, and reinstate these heirs to their respective thrones. He also directed them to provide the necessary aid and support for the restoration of these realms. After a few days of diligent search, the soldiers of Hastinapura discovered that Vrashada, the heir to the Panchala kingdom, had transformed into a sage residing in the forests. They reached the ashram where Vrashada was staying and conveyed the information to him. Overwhelmed with immense joy, Vrashada immediately set out for Bharadwaja's ashram to retrieve his son, Drupada, and return to his kingdom. Drupada, expressing profound gratitude and reverence for the protection and guidance provided by Bharadwaja during his times of adversity, respectfully thanked the sage. He reminded Drona of the promise he had made and departed the ashram with his father to embrace his destiny.